Well, good morning, magandang umaga, and welcome to today's episode of My PI Dream. Back to the basics, back to the backyard, back to the gardening. That's what we're going to talk a little bit about this morning. Plus, we are going to do a short Bahay Kubo Time today. I say short, it never seems to be short. And it's based on questions that you have out there in the comment section on our channel. So let's go ahead and get today started. Now, without further delay, let's get today's video underway. Now, as you can see from the intro this morning, everything is alive and growing. And these crazy green beans, the sitao, I think I pronounce that wrong every single time, and Ness keeps saying it's sitao. Anyway, the long green beans growing like crazy here. Some of the melons inside here are starting to get really big. Now, the channel is a way for those of you who do not have your own backyard garden. Maybe you live in a small apartment or you have somewhere to share the experience here, because our garden is your garden. So you get to share the same experience and the same feelings that we do on a day-to-day basis here, or whenever we upload a video. I want to show you one of the watermelons inside it, how fast they're growing, the watermelon and the cantaloupe, or the melon. So let's go ahead and take a look at a couple of them inside the garden. Now, as we always do, we always kind of look at the growth of the grapevine. The grapevine is really taking off still. We started on the other side of the center bamboo, I believe is when we started documenting the growth. The center bamboo pole for the roof netting here. Then we started following it across here. It's going here. And it's up to this point right here. And probably, I'm just going to let it grow, maybe go to that side and go back in the other direction. I only have one or two grapevines that are growing back here, and we'll add some more possibly next time we go to Tagaytay, maybe over to Mahogany Market, where they actually sell some really good little seedlings. Also, back here, if you want to look, we've been growing the melons and the cantaloupe. There's actually a melon growing right here. This one's not too big right now. We have another one growing over here. There's many. This one's actually starting to get pretty big. I got it on a little piece of plastic, as you can see right there, to try to avoid root rot. I've been saving all the lids on the ice cream containers. Oh, look what we got back here. What is this? Oh, we don't want this. This is a watermelon growing on the vine. Unless we put some kind of support, this is not. It's going crazy. It's just look. It's already up here and mixing with my cucumbers and mixing with my grapes. Oh, look at this. Look how quick. Another. I tell you what, I cannot keep up with the growth back here. It's just too much. And it's starting to grow outside of the raised bed garden. It's just out of control. But we're going to let it continue. What were we talking about? Oh, we were talking about ice cream lids using for bases. You see this is actually an ice cream container right here. And it has a melon sitting on the top. I'm trying to avoid contact with the soil as much as possible. I've been used old shoes that are broken, old slippers. Like this one right here. It's one of my old slippers, and it has a melon sitting on top of it. A cantaloupe over here. Yeah, it's just growing crazy. I want to show you a couple other things inside the garden. So if you remember, I put some seeds inside here. These were those regular American style lemons. You know, the regular lemons that you get, that you make lemonade with, the standard ones that you find in the grocery store. So I took the seed from one of the lemons, and I planted it inside this little pot with some good soil. And I already see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I see 8 seedlings coming up inside here. Now, of course, these are not like grafted. These are not the ones that you would get that already has an advanced growth that you would get from a nursery. So these, it's going to take, if they give us lemons, it's going to take quite a long time, probably 5 to 7 years, if we're lucky. But you know what? You got to start somewhere. And these are perfect things for you to put if you do have something like an apartment. You have a little balcony. or even a sunny window inside your house, your small house or apartment or condo unit, you can grow some lemons inside there as well. They will eventually start looking like this right over here, like this tree here and this tree. Now these trees are those Jurassic lemons. So you can see this, we're getting a lot of blossoms also after I did all the major pruning on these to make them look like a tree. I also want to talk this morning about this guy. This is the pineapple. Remember, we have 2 pineapples growing out of 4 pineapple plants back here. Average time span for a pineapple to go from seedling, basically the top of these right here, or a sucker like you have right over here, to what it looks like right here. It's approximately 2 years. Now, this one is giving indications of almost getting ready to be picked. It is starting to go to ripeness. And how do you tell? Well, you see the bottom is starting to change color. It will always start changing color from the bottom, working its way up. You can thump on it with your finger, and if it's really firm, it's probably not ready yet. You want a little bit of a hollowness kind of sound inside of it. Also, you want this to go from a yellow to a yellow golden color. And the big key, the big tip that it's about ready to pick is you sniff around this area right here. You smell. And if it starts smelling sweet and having that nice pineapple sweet aroma, it is ready to go ahead and pick. But it's not ready yet, pretty soon. One more thing I wanted to comment is the dragon fruit. You could see we had tremendous growth from this node right here on a straight section right here to this, and it's still continuing to grow. Now my objective is to get it up to the top up here and either put like a circle, like a wheel, or build a square, or even leave it like this and let it hang over and start dropping down. When it starts dropping down, you can do things to force some fruiting. A lot of times it's just cutting off the section at the tip right here, and then it should start making little flowering nodes after it starts drooping over. We're almost to that stage. Look at the one over there. It's almost to the top. That one is almost ready. So it's not going to be very much longer. And we have lots of them here. And patience is a virtue. We're going to wait because I know one day we are going to get some great fruit off of these dragon fruit. I love the taste of dragon fruit. Now let's head over to the back porch. I want to show you a couple of things that I'm working on the back porch. But before I make it to the back porch, I just want to let you know, I got up a little early this morning, and it was right after a really nice nightly rain. And what the rain does around here that's different from you using your garden hose with treated water, when the water comes down from the sky, it just does so much to, you ask anybody, they'll tell you that has a garden or a yard, the rain from the sky is just so much better than your garden hose because it doesn't have anything like any chemicals like chlorine or anything that kills bacteria and stuff like that. So that goes down. And I did a drone flyover this morning because I said, oh, this would be an opportune time. The sun isn't too bright and you can really see the richness. So I'm going to present a little bit of that drone flight this morning. Also, I took the drone over to Ainsley's house. Since we did a update on that house the other day, we don't really have any drone overview where you can really see the progress that's going on that build site, and I'm going to add that in today's episode. Well, I probably did while I was talking about it as part of today's episode. All right, well, let's go briefly back here on the back porch and take a look at a couple of things I've been working on. So I started some seeds here. I used one of the A containers. Like I said, you can repurpose anything. You can repurpose yogurt containers, ice cream containers, egg carton containers. Oh, and let me show you this. I needed some way to water the delicate plants. So I got this Dole slice peaches container. I drilled a bunch of holes in the top, and I want you to look at this. You see this? Because of the vacuum, you don't get a massive amount, but when you squeeze just a little bit, look at the slight amount of water that comes out of there. So when we do something like watering here for the seedlings, and it has to be gentle, this works perfect. Why spend all that money on a container in the store when you can build something for free? And you're saving the environment because you didn't stick this inside the trash, and you know plastics are bad for the environment. Anyway, I have my little seedlings starting here. I have some cauliflower, I have some broccoli, I have some eggplant, I I have some bell peppers and some onions here. These three, even though I don't have them marked, I took a picture because I always forget what I'm planting. And these three they're sort of like Italian tomatoes. So I have those growing here. So 3 will be enough of those. I already have some tomatoes out in the garden. And this is one of those things I can't remember. I don't know if this is cauliflower. This is one of those I didn't mark and I didn't take a picture. But I know it's something that we need a lot of. And let's see. Oh, I have a mango. Remember I talked about mango trees and how native mango trees will grow huge? Well, this is a native mango seed. And I showed you in the apartment video of how to take a seed and get a seed to start growing and sprouting, basically germinating inside a Ziploc bag with a piece of paper. And then basically a paper towel. You add a little bit of water, and then what will eventually happen? You'll start seeing the root start growing off of here, the root, and the little trunk will start growing too. Then you can plant it in regular soil. So this is what I did for this tree right here. Oh, Lazada. So if you have Lazada in the Philippines, this is how you get your Lazada delivery. They come right to your house, just like Amazon.com in the US. So this is a lot. And I know what this is. Hi, good morning. Magandang umaga. I'm excited about this. I'm excited about it. All right, thank you very much. Have a great day. Hapon. Come on, hapon. Come on. Yeah, I'm excited about this. This is something I ordered because of what you're watching. The video is on right now, which is a GoPro. The GoPro you're watching, I've been having so many problems with this. Many problems. This is the GoPro 7, the Hero Black 7. But this is something new. maybe I'll do an unboxing and I'll show you what this is. Right now, before we open this, I just want to do a brief explanation. I've been having a problem with this camera here. And this is the GoPro Hero Black 7. And the Hero 7 that I have here, I have the 5, the 6, and the 7. The 5 is what we used for the entire build, almost the entire build of Villa Feliz. It's fallen in the concrete. It's in such bad condition, aesthetically looking. The outside cracks and chips and rubber it's not even waterproof anymore, but it's still going strong. The 6 is doing pretty much the same. This one right here, the 7, which is the newest, and the reason I use it because it has some newer technologies, a little bit higher resolution on some aspects, but it has also associated problems, I think, being that it was one of the first generations of some of the new technology, and I don't think it was engineered quite right. There's been a lot of complaints about this model right here having to do with overheating, freezing, battery expanding. I've had problems with audio, but the audio is not associated with this. It's associated with my add-on mic that I have. Anyway, I have not been happy at all with the 7, but I decided to try the latest. I think this is the latest, and today it arrived. That I ordered on Lazada, and this is the 8, the GoPro Hero Black 8. Now it has some really nice stabilization, what they call, you can see right on the front that they advertise, Hyper Smooth 2.0, where the 7 has Hyper Smooth 1.0, I believe. This is for better stabilization, and you don't like jerkiness. Have you ever watched anybody's YouTube video and the camera is just shaking like this, shaking all over the place? Well, you might not see it shaking like that here, because this has a little bit of stabilization on the 7, but the 8 is like twice as good of the stabilization. Well, anyway, we will do a review on the 8 later on. But this is going to be hopefully the new and improved replacement of the GoPro Hero 7 that I've been using. The only disadvantage to this is it will not work with most of my accessories that I have with the 5, 6, and 7, because this is the camera is actually smaller than the 5, 6, and 7. This is the first one that they redesigned. So we will do that on a later date, so just letting you know, that's going to be an upcoming review video. All right, now back here to the Bahay Kubo, which was the original intent of what today's episode was supposed to be all about. Sometimes you got to go with the flow. Lazada delivery, case in point. It's good sharing experiences like that with you, so you would know, if you lived in the Philippines, kind of what to expect. So anyway, this is a Bahay Kubo Time. Bahay Kubo Time, for those who are new to the channel, is a time that we sit back and we reflect. People have questions. We do subscriber, viewers, comments, and questions, and we'll talk about those to get it out to a broader audience. Today's question, and I'm going to have to read it verbatimly because it's very, very long. And so it's really more than one question, more than one topic. And it's from one of our subscribers. His name is Vernon Kamiaz. I hope I pronounced that correct. Anyway, he says 15 hours ago, which was when I downloaded this. I don't know how many days back this is that he made the comment. But it says, as I watch this vlog, I get ideas for my future home. I have a question or two for you. Why did you put in a basement space to your home? I've watched so many vlogs, my memory escapes me. It's a garage space, correct? Why did you put a garage below your home? And he goes on, I didn't grow up here on Guam with a home having a basement. I don't know of any home with one either. So why put one in a home? Okay, let's go ahead and talk about the basement. Why did we put a basement here? Well, when you build in something like a gated community that has some restrictions, like ours does. Ours are considered farm lots. They're zoned. You have residential, you have agriculture, you have commercial, and you have something called farm lots. And farm lots it's kind of like the middle between residential and farming, agriculture. So what they do is when you build a house on a farm lot that's zoned farm lot, your house can only be so big because you have to allocate a certain amount of your yard for farming, like what you see with our trees and our garden and what we have here in the backyard. So that means we can't expand the size of our house. The original plans for Villa Feliz, for example, the original plans, it was about 30% bigger, deep and wide. It was a big house. But since we had to compress it down this way, length and width, the only way that we could get a little bit of additional space was go up or down. There are additional restrictions you might find inside a subdivision, which is height restrictions, which is what we met here in this subdivision here. You can only go so many meters tall, but we wanted to add the additional space for some activities that we like to do. Basically, a garage, so we don't use our yard for parking, and the outside garage, the space where your vehicle is going to sit outside. We want to use those for family-oriented type things, plus growing trees. So we requested the basement, and that was the main reason. It is a multifunction basement. We wanted something that has living space and utility space for the vehicle, basically like a garage for your vehicle. So that's what we did. The way we designed it, the main portion that you drive into is the parking area for the vehicle. We have a workspace around where the vehicle parks to do any type of maintenance on the vehicle if we need to do maintenance. We also have an area inside there for some of our gardening. It's a little workshop for gardening. We have an area inside there for home theater so we can watch movies. We have an area inside there that you saw on my episode for the Tiki Bar, the building of the Tiki Bar, for entertaining. So it is a little bit of everything now that's inside there. Oh, I've already forgotten some of the questions that we have. Okay, and one of the things was that you don't see them on Guam. Well, you don't see them a lot in the Philippines either, mainly because a lot of the land in Guam and inside the Philippines they're very close to sea level. They may be 3, 4, or 5 meters above sea level, the elevation of the land, which sometimes makes it very difficult for drainage to get waterway. Sometimes you dig down and within a couple of meters you start hitting water. So waterproofing is very important. Now when we purchased this lot, one of the main reasons we purchased this lot that Villa Feliz sits on right here is because it's a higher elevation. We requested that in the review when we got our realtor to go out looking for properties for us. We said, please find us a lot that's very high so that we have the option of doing something like this. For those who have big families, can you imagine if you have a big family, which is traditional here in the Philippines? A lot of times you might have two families, your grandparents, your children, maybe your children's family. They started their own family and they're living, and that's not uncommon here in the Philippines. That's why it's good to have the additional rooms. Now, can you imagine if you built basically the floor below you? It's almost like another house. You could build it similar to that, although that's not the intent of our basement here. It's mainly for relaxing, a place utility for the vehicle to work on as well. Okay, so we talked about that. Let's see. Okay. Now, another thing that Vernon mentions on his comment, and he asked a question about, he says, I also think it would be good for Tornado Alley, what he calls Tornado Alley. You could say Tornado Alley, Typhoon Alley, Hurricane Alley, any type of high wind type of a situation. And yes, a basement is like a fallout shelter. When you're inside there, you don't hear anything from the outside. Like I hear right now behind me, I hear our garbage collection. It's a tractor with a big wagon behind it. If we're inside the basement, you don't hear this. You hear no noises from the outside. It is quiet. Also, if you were to have anything, say the entire structure of your house fell down from a typhoon, well, that floor, since it's a full slab, everything on the outside might fall down, but you are so protected underneath the ground inside your basement. It's a great place. Again, it's like a fallout shelter. It's a emergency shelter. Also, it is cooler. The basement will always be 3 to 5 degrees cooler underneath the ground than the rest of your environment around your home. Let's wait for the tractor, the garbage collection to go by. Now let's continue with some of the questions from Vernon. Anyway, the other one, he's asking about the cistern. Let's see if I can read this. It says, the other question has to do with the cistern. This is your catchment for the runoff from your home, correct? From areas like the garage and off the rooftop. Is your cistern being in the ground an aesthetic move? Okay, well, it does not get the water from the basement. The water from the basement is so low, it can't go up to the level of the top of the cistern to drop it inside there. But the base of the garage has something that's called a French drain system around the outside, and you can look back at our design and engineering in earlier videos how we actually put that down during the build of Villa Feliz. But the lowest point of our pipe that collects any water that might be going up against the side of the house actually goes into the storm sewer, which, since we're so high and we have big drop-offs, it just injects right into a lower level of that. Now, the water that comes from our gutter, our secret gutter system on our roof, part of that goes into the cistern, and part of that also goes into the storm sewer. In the event that the cistern becomes full and tops off, what it does, it just backs up and goes over to the storm sewer. That was our design here, so that we didn't have to have a secondary pipe coming out of the back of the cistern for overflow. And it worked very good. And he asked, is it underneath the ground because of aesthetics? And no, it's not underneath the ground because of aesthetics, but it's kind of cool being underneath the ground because you don't see it. We use the area on the top. We have over a half a meter of area for the raised bed garden, because that's what the raised bed garden sits on. But it's underneath the ground because it's required by the deeds of restrictions in our subdivision. But according to the deeds of restriction, every lot here, every farm lot that has a home must have I believe it's a 30 cubic meter cistern. So that's by requirement of the policy. All right, well, we are going to close on that thought, talking about the cistern for today. We will have more Bahay Kubo time when we have some questions that I feel need to be addressed and shared with everybody on the channel. So let's go ahead and close in the backyard. You know, that's my Lanzoni tree there. That's one of the few trees that we have inside the backyard that's really slow growing. And I was concerned about it, but I asked my gardener. My gardener said it takes several years and then boom, it will start shooting up. But we're going to sit here one day and we're going to go to each one of the trees. We're going to identify each one of the fruit trees that we have inside the backyard. I know most of them, and I have a suspicion on what some of the other ones are. The names on each one, I had a tag on every single one of the trees back here, but I have over 30 trees. and they faded out from the UV, from the light. All the names faded out on them. So I know what I have back here. I'm just not sure a couple of them, which variety they are. So we'll do that on another episode. Anyway, I'm going to close from here in the backyard. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I hope you found it interesting. I hope you found it informative. And if you did, please give me a thumbs up. Please share. And if you have not subscribed, just click on that little MPID Dream heart in the bottom right hand side of your screen. You'll be subscribed and you'll be notified next time I upload a new video. So until such time, you have a wonderful and blessed day. If you enjoyed today's episode and you would like to see more just like these, just click on one of the helpful links over to your right and you might be able to pick up on some good information on DIY projects, how to, or if you are interested in moving to the Philippines and building, you'll find answers there as well.